Very respectful audience. I'd like to thank Ron for being here. And I would like to also give some gifts to Adnan. It would have helped him a lot if I had given this to him before. This is my book on the Trinity. This is another book, Dan Wallace and others, called Reinventing Jesus. This one especially debunks the common claim that there are parallels to Jesus in those Cyrus and Mithras and things like that. Good scholarly material. Thank you. Once again, I do thank you for being here this evening and for engaging in this important subject. Just very, very briefly, I cannot force Adnan to hear me say that Christians were Trinitarians from the start and that there was nothing about the 6th century other than simply saying that it was known at the time of Muhammad. There was no reason for him to be ignorant of it. I never said anything about the people in the intervening centuries going to hell because they didn't know the Trinity, because I've never said that. But you know that, and I hope that Adnan will come to understand that as well. If you read the rest of J.N.D. Kelly, and I've taught church history, I've written on the Council of Nicaea. If you read the rest of J.N.D. Kelly, he's talking about the discussion of where the term homoousios came from. He was talking about the people at the council that presented it, the difference between homoousios, homoousios, and heterousios. There's much more to the context that he just seemingly does not understand the historical context of the Council of Nicaea. That's very common. And I'm saying that he's misread him, not misquoted him. Those are two different things. Finally, there is the assertion that Theodosius, who is the one that makes the Christian religion the religion of the Roman Empire. Once again, the doctrine of the Trinity had been known in medieval worship for many centuries before Theodosius did that. I don't remember ever saying anything about the issue of the Roman Catholic Church and when it began, or Rome, or any of the rest of those things. So I don't think any of that was really relevant to what I was saying whatsoever. What I have said this evening, and Adnan is very quick to proclaim himself the winner. I leave that to you. Is the doctrine of the Trinity accurately defined in the pages of the Quran? I have presented the doctrine of the Trinity to you. You don't even have to believe it. You can still understand it. He just raised the word mystery. Where did I ever use it? Where did I ever say it? He ascribed it to me. I never said it. Now, I understand the use of the word mystery because the very fact that God is eternal is a mystery to us because we cannot fully comprehend that. Our minds can't get wrapped around timeless existence. So I've got no problem with the word mystery, but I've never hidden behind it. I've given you a definition, I've given you the biblical basis behind it. And I've demonstrated it, even though Adnan continues to just quote John 8:54, he forgets 8:58. Just doesn't deal with the context. Quotes John 17:1-3, forgets John 17:5. Just doesn't deal with the context. I don't do that with the Quran. Why? In the debates we're doing this week, I'm looking for a consistent Muslim who will use the same standards in examining the New Testament he does in the Quran and vice versa. That's what I'm looking for. Because you cannot define the word truth without using the word consistency. And so I have asked a question this evening. Where does the Quran identify the doctrine of the Trinity as assured? We've seen the Quran talks about 3 gods. We don't believe in 3 gods. It says, well, it uses the word 3. Yeah, well, that can mean anything. We talk about 1 God. I submit to you, Adnan has just simply repeated himself. He has not engaged the criticism of his position, and as such has not been able to substantiate the burden that is his in going first in this debate. But my most important word is to you. If what I said to you tonight is true, if Jesus is the one by whom all things are created, if he is your creator, you cannot be neutral about him. If every breath you take comes from his hand, you cannot be neutral about him. What if what those sacred writings said is true? Those sacred writings that existed long before the Quran ever came into existence. What if it's true? What if Jesus Christ is the creator of all things? What if it is not to divide your worship, but to recognize that your creator has entered into creation to bring about redemption for his people? And he's glorifying himself in so doing, generation after generation, in causing men and women, boys and girls, to bow the knee in faith to Jesus Christ, all the glory of God the Father. Think about that. That is the Christian message.